You know, you hear this term, the straight path. What is the straight path? Really, the straight path is just a term that is said in the spiritual world when they talk about something that is how it like the best, the ideal, as opposed to something like the crooked path, which would be something that is not ideal. So, what is the straight path? The straight path is when you are learning what is important to you and not learning, or rather unlearning what is unimportant to you. This is the path of life. This is life itself. This is the story of life. What happens is life is about growing. Life is not about picking and selecting experiences. That's why when bad things happen, people go crazy, or when good things happen, people are in very much high in ecstasy. But the truth is that the straight path makes no exclusions. And don't get me wrong, we can all grow however we want to. So, when it is said that you have free will, this is the truth. The free will that you have gives you the opportunity to select how you want to grow. So you can't stop growing, but really it's not. But it's really the important emphasis that the straight path, the ideal, the path that we are all ultimately on, though we can divert from, is the path of learning what is important to us and unlearning what is unimportant to us. But first, what is important to us? What's important to us is what we are experiencing, what we have experienced, because it still affects us now, and what we will experience. That's what is important to us. And using your free will, you can, of course, choose the way you will grow. You see, if you make something bad, something sinful, something evil as part of your life, it'll be considered important to you. It'll be considered important to your past, your present, your future. The whole thing will evolve into that being a part of your life and your story. So you will grow from that experience inevitably in the future. But also, um, what's the benefits of following the straight path as opposed to following a path that is crooked? Well, the straight path lets you know two things. Whatever happens to you happens for a reason. That's a positive thing, right? Knowing this is a good thing, but also it can haunt you. There's a bad side to knowing that everything that happens to you happens for a reason. It can haunt you, as opposed to being completely off the straight path, where everything that happens to you is so good and awesome, and everything that bad that happens to you is like, oh, I didn't know, why would that happen? Oh well. But the straight path is the ideal path. It leads to where you want to go, and it is the life doesn't say, oh, here's the awesome path, here is the bad path. No, the straight path is the path that like life is, and you have to follow the straight path, and that's how it is eternally. So the idea is that don't pick and choose apples off the tree of experiences unless you're doing it with your own free will. Realize that no matter what, ultimately everything happens to us for a reason. It's to help us realign, to grow. Growth is realignment. It's alignment with itself inherently, with growth. So in conclusion, learn everything. You know how like people experience stuff and they're like, why did this happen to me? Why did I learn this? Why is my mind clinging to these thoughts as opposed to these thoughts? That's because your mind finds these things important to you, whether it's from your past free will choices that makes you now learn from them, or your present is learning from them for the future, or the future you will get something from you clinging to this now, to thoughts, to energy, to experiences, whatever it is. So learn what is important to you, unlearn what is unimportant to you. That is the straight path, that is growth, that is learning, that is experience. Using your free will, you can select what is important to you and what isn't important to you. There is no negative repercussions or positive repercussions to selecting what is important to you. This is why you have free will, so you can choose in which way you want to grow. So if you don't want negative experiences to be a part of your future, if you don't want negative experiences to be a part of your present or your past, use your free will to select what is important to you. Free will is used to select our experiences, to select what is important to us. So use your free will to select what is important to you, the good things. Don't do evil, don't do bad, don't do sins. And that way, it won't be important to your soul to these experiences, and that way you will only grow in the direction you want to grow in. You are an eternal soul, and this eternal soul is all about growth, and it is all about selective growth. So you choose which way you want to go. And and so yeah, if you want good experiences, select good experiences now. Do good things now. Don't select harmful, because if you do select harmful, that's what's going to be important to your soul to learn from in the future.